This is the Peasant's Voice with artist activist Justin John Scheck. This is a bi-weekly show, and I'm covering the last 2 weeks today. So much has happened. Where to begin? The end of democracy, the fascist dictatorship taking hold of the country and the minds and hearts of the people. Majority, maybe. His approval ratings at 47, 48, 49. I mean, if you're such a buffoon that you grab women by the pussy because you're rich and famous and get away with it, and not just that, but you're such a buffoon that you tell a complete stranger because you think he'll think you're cool, not a monster, and then you vote for the guy, you empower him, you give him this big soapbox. He cuts taxes for the 0.1% of the population. They get 81% of the benefits. If I was doing a tax cut, I would give 81% of the benefits to 81% of the people. He give it to 0.1% of the people who pocket trillions. And then when inflation hits, they pass the burden of the costs onto the consumer. So what was the tax cut for? I thought if we appease these dragons and give them money, trillions of dollars, they'll absorb some of the issues and be kind to us. Well, they're not going to be kind. Profit six quarter. Got to make profit six quarter. Oh my God. Profit six quarter. That's it. These are vicious creatures, immortal, all-powerful creatures who will never do the right thing. They're amoral. They're not people. They're amoral dragons who are slaying our villages, hoarding our gold, and stealing our virgins, like every myth has said. You need a righteous knight to slay the dragon. Not a dictator, a fascist coward who violates women because he can get away with it because he's so rich and famous. You think that guy's got good ideas? You think that guy's sincere about anything he says? Yeah, he follows through on crazy shit. He doesn't follow through on anything good. And his State of the Union address, where he just patted himself on the back and then couldn't handle emotionally the Democrats weren't standing, so he had to make a comment that I'll never get their love and respect. Well, you're a monster. We're not going to love and respect you. And don't worry, they're not an opposition party. They're stupid. Their leadership is just the corporate moderate leadership. They're just whores who just do the bidding of the ruling class, just like the Republicans. They just read the polls and say nice things. But this guy, Schumer, I mean, I saw the videotapes of them. The Capitol, there's an insurrection going on, a coup is taking place, and the guy won't even say the F word. He just says the effing. He's so angry that he says the F. You know, he's got no balls. He's a coward. Like all moderate corporates, Democrats. I'm talking about the politicians, not the moderate human beings that are working class people who are suffering too and getting fired. The federal government, you're not going after the bigwig bureaucrats that are the deep state. You're firing hardworking people who keep planes in the air and keep them from colliding. Who make like $75,000 a year or whatever, $150,000 if they're in charge. They're not pocketing trillions of dollars and then being promised trillions more by eliminating hardworking, dedicated people who provide services to the world and make civilization possible. You want to just drive to the nearest river and stop because there's no bridges or roads being built anymore, because you privatized everything and you're saving money to give it to 0.1% of the population, who will then pass all the burdens onto you when the shit hits the fan. I'm radical and nuts, so nobody's listening, but this is just reality. And I'm mentally ill, and I shed my delusions and understand this. What's wrong with you? Half the country said, screw it that he is a fascist who tried to steal the election and grabs women by the pussy because he's so powerful and brags about it to strangers because he's so stupid. Let's give him the wheel again. He's not letting go of the wheel ever. So his people just keep telling me, look at the polls, he's dipping. He's not dipping. The people that he needs love him. They think he's doing great things, going after bureaucrats in the federal government, not working class humans who punch a clock every day, just like you. Eliminating the education department. I know there's problems with the education department, but you don't eliminate it. You fix it. You give that power to the states. They could just brainwash that state to believe any bullshit they want. It's no mystery that the South hates the North and still call us Yankees because we ended we gave civil rights to the minority people who were protesting nonviolently and demanding fairness. They couldn't handle that emotionally and have never voted Democratic again. We went from everybody always approving of the presidency as a Democrat at 73%. Now we can't get over the 49% hump of whoever's in power at the time because the country's so divided on fiction. And keep electing monsters who give everything to immortal, all-powerful creatures who rob us blind, take 90 trillion from the bottom 99.9% over the past 70 years since trickle-down economics was invented. 90 trillion! Why are we 39 trillion in debt? Because of my $2 a day of food stamps. It's just buffoonery. It's so fucking stupid. I'm so outraged. And historically, this is just the reality. When the shit hits the fan and times are hard and inflation hits, there's two responses. There's the left response, which is give more money to the consumers. They'll spend more, the economy will boom, stocks will go up. Or take everything from the working class, let them starve and suffer poverty and turn to crime in their darkest hour. And just hand everything to the winners. Trump loves the winners. This is embarrassingly gross and ignorant, and it's here. It's over. The guy is not leaving office. Fascists don't leave. Viktor Orban, he's following his playbook with the media. This media corruption. Bullshit. Now, MSNBC tries to do the same thing that Fox News does, but does he call out Fox News? No, because they're doing his bidding. He doesn't care about fairness. He cares about winning and brainwashing more people so that he can be reelected. I know you're radical and crazy. He says it out loud that he's running again. Is Vice President Vance next in line? No. Well, who is then me? Should I run again? He says this in his press conferences several times. People are Heil Hitlering him, but he's not a fascist. That wasn't a Heil Hitler. That's how I wave. Oh my God. Look at the Democrats. They do it too. They put their arm out. It's alpha bullshit. That's not Hitler. It's alpha bullshit. If you put your arm out over the people, it shows your dominance. If you Heil Hitler, it shows you're a Nazi. Completely different. It's psychological warfare to hold your arm out over the people and pretend you're waving, but really you're sending the signal, I'm dominant. That's just reality. So that's where the Heil Hitler comes from, is we're dominant. We're the white Aryan race. You protest against genocide that America's participating in, we'll deport you, even though you have a green card. You don't have $5 million. You don't get the gold card and get to stay no matter what. Give me $5 million. That's how Trump operates. He doesn't care about freedom or democracy or any reality. He cares about money. All he cares about is money and power. Right? Everybody on the left knows it. Every radical knows it. Moderates told me during during Biden's years, I liked some of the things Trump did. My moderate brothers and sisters, working class people, we're looking at the stock market and we're unhappy or whatever. I like some of the things he did. Well, do you like it now? I know moderates know they fucked up by going along with this shit. I know the moderates have buyer's remorse. It doesn't matter. He's got 30% of the population, which is all you need. He could steal the next election. No, he won't. He won't do that. He tried to steal the last one. He said, even though I'm in power, the election was corrupt the night of, before they finished counting. He just knew it was stolen from him because it was obvious he was going to lose. And then everybody made it true after that, because you got to do what the fascist dictator says. That's how these countries work. This is Orban's philosophy. This is Putin's philosophy. State-run television. North Korea, the people in North Korea think he has no butthole because they're in the country, and you can hoodwink your countrymen with state-run, if all the information they're getting is propaganda. But you can't hoodwink the world. The world knows that this son of a bitch has a butthole. It's obvious. So what's the world saying? This guy's a fascist dictator. What's the left saying? This guy's a fascist dictator. What's the moderates saying? I think he might be a fascist dictator after all. You think? After he tried to steal the fucking election because he couldn't handle it emotionally, launched a coup and encouraged an insurrection? Come to January 6th. It'll be wild. Why January 6th, I wonder? The day that they count the votes? And make no mistake, this son of a bitch was on the phone calling Jim Jordan saying, look, the people are angry. Let's just give the election to me. People are very angry. Well, you told them the election was stolen. Of course they're angry. It wasn't stolen, though. You know how easy it is to prove that the election was stolen? When you go to vote, there's no name Boogeyman. There's no name Billy Corrigan. You know, there's a Billy Corrigan. But you know my point. There's no Billy Wazupat that can vote. The only way to steal a vote is to pretend you're somebody already on the list in that voting area. And a person that came to vote and somebody already voted for them would just say that. And you could prove that. There's a paper trail for that. Justin John Scheck showed up and somebody had already voted for him. And then he proved with his ID that he was Justin John Scheck. So we know that was a stolen vote. That didn't happen. There's no evidence because it didn't happen. But you convince people that it did, and moderates say, who cares that the guy can't handle emotionally losing and tried to steal it. So he's going to steal the next election. He's going to run again. I'm not wrong. I'm just listening to what he says and watching what he does. He will make a constitutional amendment. He's ignoring the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment says that a person's rights should not be infringed. Not a citizen, a person's rights. It was probably written for freed slaves, right? That, they can defend themselves in court against somebody recapturing them and making them a slave again. You had, now they're not a citizen, so they can't, no, they are, they're a person. That's why the 14th Amendment says person. These were intelligent men back then, not corrupt monsters. So they knew what the word person meant, and they knew what the word citizen meant, and they were specific. The 14th Amendment covers that all people will have the right to due process. Trump has eliminated the 14th Amendment. Khalil, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. This gentleman who thought genocide was wrong was arrested by plainclothesmen that didn't show a badge and thrown into the ICE detention center with no recourse, because he's not a person. But Coca-Cola is a person, an immortal, all-powerful person who can buy politicians, have their lobbyists write the legislation, and these whores will just sign it. The politicians don't write the legislation, lobbyists do. Who has lobbyists? Not you. You get one vote. This immortal, all-powerful person has thousands of lobbyists who make sure that you go bankrupt for getting cancer, because that's the smart system. Even if you have insurance, you go bankrupt for getting cancer. 1 out of 5 people. Go on GoFundMe. It's filled with people saying, I'm going to die unless I come up with $20,000 because the insurance company I have won't pay for it, won't cover it. Please help me raise $20,000 so I don't die. And they don't raise the money. Nobody's paying attention except for the ones that go viral. Everybody else just fucking dies. And that's called a healthcare system, a rational healthcare system. It's not a healthcare system, it's a scam. Social Security isn't a Ponzi scheme. Our health insurance is. If you had universal health care, you could negotiate with drug companies. Hey, I represent 255 billion people, so we're going to lower the cost. That's how Canada does. That's how all these other countries do it. They can charge anything they want. $5,000 for a medicine, right? Fuck you, pay me or die. Fuck you, pay me or die. That's the system. It's not a healthcare system. Oh, but I'm radical, pointing out reality. That no one's fucking listening, right? Because we dismiss, because I'm hurting feelings by pointing out reality. I'm ostracized because I know the truth, speak it. And people can't handle it emotionally, so they just stop, they don't listen. I debate these MAGA people all the time. They don't listen to any facts, no truth sticks. If they don't have an answer to the question, they just move on and tell me I like transgender. I want their kids to be transgender. Or cats. And people and I know several moderates who say this is just a democracy. No, it's not. Delusional people voting is bad for democracy. Delusional people making delusional decisions is bad for democracy. You're supposed to have a free press that actually does its job. But Reagan undid the fairness in media doctrine through the FCC, flooding the zeitgeist with propagandists. And then when Congress, a Democrat and Republican non-corrupt Congress, who was sincere, tried to pass the fairness in media doctrine as a bill, they passed it. They agreed. You can't flood the zeitgeist with propagandists. Reagan vetoed it. And then all of a sudden, trickle-down economics, which is being lambasted by the press, was suddenly a great idea that we can't discuss further. And it's lasted for 80 years. If you're an immortal, all-powerful person, i.e. a corporation, and you fail, your business fails, you go bankrupt, we just bail you, the working class just bails them out and hands them trillions to rebuild. And they get to pocket extra trillions just to be safe. And then the debt skyrockets. And then your solution to that is to fire people who rebuild areas after a natural disaster. Fire those people. Fire people that work in the park industry, which costs $3.6 billion to run and turns a profit of $55.6 billion. Or creates that much in the economy anyway. That's a pretty good deal. $3.6 billion, creating $55.6 billion. That's money well spent. No, it's not, because the working class benefits. If the top 0.1% of the population isn't benefiting, it's bad policy. That's obvious. Really? We serve 0.1% of the people who are powerful and have privilege and don't pay taxes? People are outraged about their taxes. Understandably, because the burden of sustaining the society has been shifted onto the worker, while the owner class takes it all and keeps it. Every time. What's Trump promising? He didn't say find waste and fraud in the federal government. He said, find me $1 trillion so I can hand it to 0.1% of the population. Find it. And Elon Musk, the patriot who posts things like Hitler didn't kill people, his federal workers did, to try to trick his followers into thinking he's making sense. He took Twitter, called it X. He took Twitter and just said, hey, from now on, yelling fire in a crowded theater is free speech. But speaking truth to power, that's not free speech. That must be censored. That's pretty American. No, wait, that's fascist. That's the way autocracies work. You're an autocrat. You're a fascist who Heil Hitler's. And people still buy his fucking car and let him play rocket ship and get 20 billions from us. You think I get 20 billion to buy food? I get $3 a day. And I make $1,000 a month in federal payments because I worked and then got sick. And now I'm taken care of because unions and FDR and the socialist movements of the past fought for that right for me. And what's he going to do? He's going to take it away so that he can give trillions to 0.1% of the population who doesn't need it and will just keep it. And when inflation hits, they'll just raise prices. When the tariffs hit, raise prices. They don't absorb the cost because we gave them trillions of free money. They don't absorb it. They're monsters. Just as you would expect, they will maximize profits for next quarter, even if it destroys the world and burns everything. Trump buys an electric car, but he demonizes electric cars. Why? Because he doesn't care about anything. He cares about his loyalty and money. Elon Musk is loyal, so he pretends to like the electric vehicle all of a sudden. How did you decide that? Are you going to put more money into? No, I'm going to make it so that more gas is used than coal. Okay, so you're a fucking monster, and it's obvious. This is embarrassingly obvious to anyone who isn't absorbing propaganda 24/7. Propaganda just works. It always has. You could be an intelligent person, and if you're only watching Fox, you will become a lost person. I've lost friends telling them they're lost for supporting this fascist Nazi. He's not a fascist Nazi. You are. You're a communist. I'm a communist because I see the reality and point it out. I'm not a communist. I don't even know what communism is. Communism and socialism have been so demonized and destroyed in this country. Those words don't mean shit. They don't mean anything. If you look up liberal, it means you're an accepting person who fights for those who can't fight for themselves. The Oxford Dictionary, not the corrupt American dictionary. The Webster's bullshit. Which means I'm a appeaser who doesn't fight in wars. This is just, I'm not yelling at you, the listener. I'm mad at the fascists at the wheel who have stolen my country, convinced half the population it's okay to be fascist. It's necessary to get cheaper eggs. And the real demons are the people speaking truth to power and saying genocide is wrong. When did that become taboo? I get it. Hamas has kidnapped people and killed 1,000. So you destroy the whole fucking area so that the children are so bombed to death that they'll never shake out of this disaster. And then you say we're gonna deport them all and build a Riviera. This is like a bad movie where you would say this guy doesn't exist. He's this monster. It can't be. No human would be that crazy and sick, disgusting. Take a genocide and make a vacation resort for white people to visit. We talk big about how evil it is to do what we did to the Native Americans, and then we do it to the people who they don't have an army. Palestinians don't even have a country. Their country was taken. They're trapped by borders, the sanctions. They have 2 hours of electricity a day, which, by the way, Israel just cut. That's a war crime. Going after the civilians, civilian after civilian, dead. They don't even count the bodies anymore. It's too many. Nobody's telling me how many civilian Palestinians are dead. It's just we're looking the other way. Just pretending it's not happening. And then when people stand up and say this shouldn't happen, we arrest them illegally and don't give them their 14th Amendment rights. What's the Constitution for? To protect the person against fascism and corruption and bullshit, government tyranny. That's what the 14th Amendment's for. Like I said, it was probably used for freed slaves, but it applies still. It's never been reworded. Not the citizen, the person. But a Mexican isn't a person because he crossed the line and didn't. When you travel all the way from South America to escape death and persecution, your father, your husband, grandpa, grandma, everybody's been killed. It's just the aunt and the child. She's taking him to the border, and then we deport her, keep the child, call it good policy. No, we don't keep the child anymore. We just deported a 10-year-old American girl. Her parents sent her. They picked her up at school. She's an American citizen, and she lives in Guatemala now. They're not going after the bad hombres as promised in 2016. They're going after everyone who's not white and coming from South America. Throughout history, there have been realities like economic hardship, famine, war. Now, where this war on drugs has created powerful gangs that just kill everyone, take over the area, destroy the government. So what do? We pretend that's not a reality. You know, there are more Irish people of Irish descent in America than there are Irish people in Ireland because of the Great Potato Famine. It's just a natural phenomenon. But we can't handle it emotionally because these people are coming from the South where they're brown. This is just pure racist hypocrisy. They're sending criminals, mentally ill people from insane asylums. Who talks that way? You know how many insane asylums I've been in that were just really good people that had problems and were taken advantage of by monsters like this and then snapped? Or a man who has 3 jobs that can't handle the stress anymore, starts having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, they put him in the hospital. That's who's in insane asylums. They're not sending these people, they're fleeing those persecuting monstrous governments and bad situations for the promise of a better life in America. And when they arrive here, we kick them in the balls and send them back to their death because we can't handle it emotionally that they come for ports of entry. They still get sent back. Nobody becomes a citizen. You know how hard it is to become an American citizen? Now we're going to remove birthright citizenship. You're born in America. You're a person in America. You're a citizen. That's the Constitution. No, I can't handle that emotionally. We're not doing that anymore. And this son of a bitch brags about it in his State of the Union that isn't a State of the Union. He just needed to get out there and brag about how great he is. And now that some of the people are waking up, he blames CNN and MSNBC. I get it. They're Democratic bullshit, propaganda shit. I get it. But they're not leftists. They don't preach every day that you shouldn't go bankrupt for getting cancer, even if you have insurance. They don't preach every day that there's hundreds of thousands of people who go bankrupt every year, or millions or whatever, even though they have insurance, just because they get sick. They don't scream every day that if we had a universal health care and we could negotiate drug prices, everything would be much better. They don't preach any of that. They say Schumer's smart to go along and not be an opposition party, and he did the right thing. That's what they're saying. They're not leftists. That's you don't even know what a leftist is. That's the problem. People dismiss me before I open my mouth because I'm a leftist, and I get it. Leftists sound stupid because they're not leftists that represent us on television, and everybody goes to the television for their news. And the news has been bullshit ever since Reagan undid the fairness and media doctrine and flooded the zeitgeist with propagandists. When did Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity start their AM radio careers? As soon as Reagan ended the fairness and media doctrine. They were like, hey, I know the truth, but I can pretend I don't. Brainwash ignorant people that didn't have no education and suffer the indignity of poverty all their lives. Tell them it's the left's fault. Redefine what a leftist is. Not a working class freedom fighter, but a communist monster. I mean, I'm sorry I'm so angry. But if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. If you're not angry, you're dead. You're a walking dead person. or you're brainwashed. Brainwashed people don't get upset about tyranny. They root it on because they think it's freedom. You know how many people on Facebook attack me? Not for my thoughts or ideas, but because I'm a radical leftist who points out the unacceptable tyranny of 0.1% of the population against the rest of us. 99.9% of us are all in the same boat. I don't care if you make $150,000 a year. You need your wife to work too, or a husband to work too, if you're making $150,000 a year. It's not enough, right? And maybe you have a boat and a nice car and you could send your kids to college. Well, a 1950s and 60s factory worker at Ford could do that. But real wages have stayed stagnant for 80 years, and now everyone's suffering. We're all in the same boat, but we can't unite and fight against evil because we can't even define it as evil. There are millions and millions and millions, 100 million people rooting this monster on, saying he's finally getting the deep state. He's getting you. He's oppressing you. And if you're loyal to him, he won't come after you, except he'll take away your health care and raise your taxes. And he'll blame the left, and you'll go, see, the left did it. They're not in power. We don't have the House. We're never in power. The Democrats have been in power twice in the past 80 years, or 60 years, when Clinton had the House and the Senate for 2 years, and Obama had it for 2 years. The rest of the time, it's been Republicans or split. Republican power. This is a Republican country. This madness, this tyranny, this oppression that you all feel, I know. I'm a blue collar all my life, and now I live in poverty. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying poor me. I'm saying poor us. But nobody's hearing that. They can't get past the criticism of the politician they love. All I'm pointing out is the corruptness of the politicians. That's somehow a bad thing nowadays. I'm pointing out the tyranny of immortal, all-powerful creatures who dominate the world. Financial institutions and multinational corporations. These aren't American companies. They make their money selling to the world. Yes, they care about 255 million consumers in America. But there's billions of consumers around the world. You think maybe we should tax them at a fair rate? Trump wants to lower it. He lowered it from 35 to 21. Kamala Harris's big plan was to raise it up to 28%. That's not a raise. It's a 7% deduction from 35, 28. She's just an appeaser too. No wonder she didn't. Of course she's not going to win. It's obvious. To the vote she needed, that she was full of shit. You don't raise it to 28% and say, I'll just appease you a little bit, creature that'll fuck us over when inflation hits. Come on. Look, all I can handle is 30 minutes today because I just can't handle this emotionally. Let me say this ceasefire plan, Trump just stole their minerals. That's it. This ceasefire might, even if Putin agrees to it for 30 days, he's not done. And if he is done, it's just to do a favor to Trump so that he can keep Trump in his pocket so he can get more out of Trump. We've already sanctioned them to death. Trump just added sanctions. Okay, there's 0.1% of their economy hasn't been affected yet. It's a band-aid. He flicked him in the nose. He poked him in the chest a little bit just to make it look good. He fucking raped Ukraine, who just lost half of their minerals to Russia. And we took the rest of their minerals. And what do they get in return? Not protection, not a guarantee. They get nothing but the promise that he'll talk to Putin. What does that mean? You know how fucking ignorant that is? They're blackmailed. They can't say no to that deal. It's not a deal. It's highway robbery. Russia just stole half their minerals. And they just go into cell phones, this minerals. It makes cell phones possible for people. That's the reality. It spreads capitalist benefits. The American people don't get that mineral money. Corporations do. We buy the minerals for thousands of dollars for a phone. It costs us. These minerals go straight to the corporations. They own the wealth. And they take more of it when we blackmail a country that's desperate and needs our help. This is evil. This is ugly. This is gross. This is negligent. This is buffoonery. And it's done on purpose by a monster who knows what he's doing and just says bullshit on television. And then his media cohorts on Fox, Tim Pool, all these ass clowns that Gavin Newsom is having on his podcast because he's going to run for president. He wants to show he's fair and balanced. You don't put a propagandist, fascist, dictatorist bullshit on your show and then giggle when they talk about how fucking gross they are. Stand up, you coward. You're not getting elected, and if you are the fucking nominee for president, we'll get our asses handed to us. Trump will win a third term. This is over, because moderates will fucking decide the Democrats. The Democrats are run by moderates who don't know that they're voting against their own interests every time. Because radical leftists are crazy and can't be listened to. Can't listen, can't learn. You're delusional, so you dismiss us immediately. You won't listen to the realities that are facing us. You won't join the movement. It's exhausting, and it makes me angry to be in the minority and be the only one who knows what the fuck is going on. And I listen to people, I learn from other people, I get it, I don't know everything, but I know these things. They're obvious. They're painfully obvious. To anyone who just reads several papers, that's all you got to do. I read the Wall Street Journal, even though it's Republican propaganda. I read the New York Times, even though it's Democratic propaganda, moderate Democratic propaganda. New York Times isn't running headline after headline. Climate change will destroy civilization. They're not running headline after headline of that. Because they got cars and oil companies advertising in their paper. That's who they're beholden to, not the reader, not the people, to the fucking corporations. This is their country, their world. They created this mess. And they will make profits next quarter. They will pass the burden on to us at every step. And to expect anything different is fucking delusional. To think you can just appease these fucking whores by giving them another tax cut. Trump wants to send it down from 21 to 15. Do you pay 15% taxes? Do you rake in hundreds of billions every quarter? Of profit that you just keep? It doesn't go back into the economy. It goes into a fucking tax haven. Untaxed. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm taking the Lord's name in vain. I'm a Christian. That's how I know the soul is separate from the body. That's what my belief, okay? So a female soul can be born into a male body. That's just reality. Since the Bible, the Lakota called them two spirits and worshiped them as special people. The Greeks it was taboo to even think it was weird when they invented democracy. It's just always been. Scientists say it, but in fascism, first they amuse the fools, then they mute the intelligent. Science is bullshit. Climate change isn't real. People aren't really stuck in the wrong body. The truth is this moron ass clown who lies his whole life. He's been a con man. But now he's sincere. Now he's fighting the tyranny. He is the tyranny. This is embarrassingly obvious to anyone who's paying it fucking attention and not watching one source of information and saying, I don't trust anything else. You know how, if you were a detective investigating a murder, and you talk to the first witness, and he said, look, these other 99 witnesses, they're gonna say I did it, but hey, that's bullshit, don't talk to them. Don't even listen to them. And then if you were that detective and said, okay, yeah, I'll just dismiss these other 99. I won't even talk to them. This guy's, you'll never solve a crime. That's the murderer, stupid. Sorry, I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling the system, this setup, this bullshit, this fucking bullshit, stupid. Like I said, you can be the most intelligent person in the world. If you're only absorbing one source of information that tells you not to trust any other sources of information, you've been hoodwinked. And if you keep doing it, I only absorb 30 minutes a day of Sean Hannity. Oh my God, then you live in a non-reality. I only absorb 30 minutes a day of Rachel Maddow. Oh my God, you live in a non-reality. The detective interviews everyone and then and he solves the crime. That's how it works. You gather all the information you can get. You're then impervious to propaganda by gathering all the information. But we gotta mute the intelligent and amuse the fools. That's how you steal a country. And it's been done over and over again. I'm not describing anything new. This is how fascism works. And this is how oligarchy works. When the oligarchy realizes that the people are trying to democratize the economy, like the Bernie movement and the Occupy Wall Street movement and the waking up of a third of the country, when the oligarchy realizes this is the reality, they'll side with the fascists to keep their privilege and their profits running. And that's what they've done. And now media outlet after media outlet. In college, the last bastion of creating free thinkers is now, people don't even know what indoctrination means. Indoctrination is watching Fox News. Education is gathering information from history of, I stand on the shoulders of giants because I studied them. Heroes who have come before us and told us they weren't prophets to lead us out of the darkness. They're students of history that tell us who's keeping us in the dark. Because it's the same fucking trick every time. Trump is a king. The mad king. This will not end well. And when it all goes to shit, you will blame the Democrats because he said so. Not you, but the MAGA. Look, if it wasn't a deal breaker that he didn't, that wasn't an insurrection. He that was a protest, a peaceful protest. People were convicted of seditious conspiracy, and he pardoned them. Guess what that means? When we protest, who's going to be there? The Oath Keepers and these fucking monsters who stormed the Capitol in military formations. We had them on audio, giving instructions, telling them if he calls if he calls the Insurrection Act, we'll go get all the weapons we brought in the vans, and then we'll kill all these motherfuckers. This was just audio. They were admitting it because they thought they were going to win and steal the country back, take the country back. So they were admitting everything on audio. And it was proven in court because propaganda doesn't work in court. You have to answer yes or no questions, and then there's follow-up questions. That's not how the media works. You ask a question, they say some bullshit, and then they go to the next question. There's no follow-up. There's no way to narrow a person down. I watch CBS I watch this Face the Nation bullshit every weekend. And they never get one question answered because they're stupid. They don't understand. They're just stupid. They hire idiots who are actors, not journalists. They know nothing about journalism. They know nothing about how to find the truth and do research to understand what the bullshit the person's going to say before they say it, because they're just a fucking broken record. That's all they do is repeat bullshit. And it's so easy to dissect. Anyone with a fucking brain, but they don't hire people with brains. These are corporate fucking news media. They're not gonna bite the hand that feeds them. They're gonna rile you up that the other poor person's the problem for 10 minutes, either right or the left, whoever, pick your poison. They're gonna bullshit you, and then they're gonna cut the commercial and sell you fucking cars that pollute the fucking earth and end civilization as we know it. Because it's profits next quarter for them too. Profits next quarter. conflict gets the people going. They'll tune in. So be rude and arrogant, but don't fucking actually say anything. That's dangerous. Say what we put on the teleprompter. Come on, I'm not that smart. This isn't hard. I took an IQ test. I'm not a genius. But I know the truth when I hear it. Because I study different perspectives to a fucking death. And I stand on the shoulders of giants who already told me how fascism works. How do you know he's going to run again? Because Viktor Orban's still in power, Putin's still in power, this Hitler stayed in power, Mussolini stayed in power. Donald Trump's quoting Mussolini or Napoleon Bonaparte. Man who doesn't break the law if he's saving his country. That's Bonaparte. He's quoting dictators, but he's not a dictator. The communists are. The communists are we've never been in power. Not we, but the left has never been in power. Obama was in power. No, Obama had the House and the Senate for 2 years, and all he could get past was Romney Care because people in the Democratic Party were fighting the public option. Romney Care, a very well understood Republican plan that siphons money to the private corporation, the private insurance companies. That's all he could get accomplished. That's not leftist. That's pragmatic, moderate bullshit that didn't change fucking shit for most of the people in the country. Now, it benefited some people on Medicaid, but Trump's just going to take that away. It expanded Medicaid to cover more poor people. Trump's taking little kids' health insurance and they're rooting them on. And you think that his polls are going to dip? You think that a monster who tells a complete stranger, I'm so rich and powerful that I can rape women with my fingers, you think that son of a bitch? You think people that voted for him and the moderates who said, I like some things Trump did? I mean, this is the level of delusion that we're up against, the left. And when we try to elect someone, guess who led the whole damn Democratic Party, all 50 states? The most donated to politician was Bernie Sanders, the people's choice. If the whole of all 50 states are coming to your rallies and sending you their hard-earned money, the poor people of the country, the working class of the country. That's what I mean by poor people. Workers who live paycheck to paycheck or make $150,000. That's not a lot. Yeah, you can turn it around in the stock market. You can maybe be a millionaire. But you're not going to have an army of lobbyists writing the laws for you so that you get pocket trillions. And if you make $150,000 and you get fired, you don't get bailed out by the working class. If you're an immortal, powerful creature with the 14th Amendment protects as a person, and the fucking corrupt Republican Supreme Court decided is that corporations are people and money is speech. So corporations can speak with hundreds of billions of dollars. Elon Musk can donate $277 million to Trump's fucking PAC, and then get to fire willy-nilly people because he's a fucking ruling class monster who gets power. You get one vote. That's it. And they steal it if they don't like the reality of the election. They tried to, and he will do it the next time. All he needs is 30% of the population, then he can convince everybody, no, that was a stolen election when, not Gavin Newsom, but Ocasio-Cortez won. Gavin Newsom, the moderates are going to pick him, I know it. Some bullshit like that. A billionaire, Pritzker. They're going to pick some moderate bullshit. You know what a moderate is, a politician? A moderate politician? They have no ideas and no spine. Hillary Clinton, ass kick. Joe Biden. The world was ready at the moment for anything but Trump. The country was ready. And what happened was, we leftists went along. You stole Bernie from us twice, but we swallowed our pride and said, this is too dangerous, Trump's too dangerous. And then what did the moderate Biden do? Watered down bullshit that made no one happy. He just walked around saying, people don't want to pay more for their prescriptions. They are! You only affected a little bit of people in Medicare. And we wanted college tuition to just disappear. K through 12, we all agree on. Extend that 4 years and people lose their fucking minds. In the 21st century, where it's kind of necessary to either go into a trade school, which would have been free, learn to be a plumber or a carpenter, or an apprenticeship would be paid for. Learn to be a plumber or carpenter or whatever, or mechanic. And then higher level education would be covered. You could become a doctor. We got a shortage of fucking doctors, but you want to make them go, I get it. They went $200,000 into debt, paid it off, and then watched other people get their shit forgiven and a discount. So of course they were outraged. They just got fucked by a moderate idiot who watered down the plan and just made everybody mad. Come on. Wake up. This is obvious shit. And you're going to do it again. Ocasio-Cortez is going to run. She's going to be the only choice, the only option, the only one speaking truth to power, the only one who doesn't take corporate money. All the others take corporate money. I wonder who they're beholden to. A more all-powerful people that fuck us when inflation hits. And fuck us at every turn. So profits next quarter. That's it. It's their only motivation, their sole motivation. They're immoral monsters. I'm so fucking exhausted. There are two responses to situations like this. Either raise taxes on the wealthy. Now, I mean the wealthy, not somebody making $150,000 a year. Somebody making, all their money. Like Elon Musk, he's so clever that he doesn't earn wages because that gets taxed. He gets all of his money from the stock options. That's how he becomes a billionaire. He doesn't pay taxes on it. And then he just pockets it and keeps it. It doesn't go back into the economy. It doesn't create jobs. It doesn't do anything but make him get to play rocket ship with millionaires and send millionaires to fucking space. Oh, that's great. Let's give him $20 billion in government funds to send rich people to fucking Mars, which is unlivable. And by the time you got there and got back, everyone you know would be dead. And you'd have aged, a couple months or whatever, or however long it takes to get there. It's just stupid. It's just fucking dumb. This world is burning and going to shit. And he wants to he doesn't want to fix Earth. Fuck Earth. The money's in Mars. That's where the money is. You know what Elon Musk's claim to fame is? This son of a bitch is a parasitic vulture who hung around the government and said, what did the government create? What did socialism create? What did the working class create through their tax dollars? Oh, the internet. Hey, how do I make money off that? Oh, here's a company, PayPal, that handles money on the internet. I'll just borrow money from my fucking blood diamond parents and buy that company. That's his claim to fame. He didn't work and earn it and do anything intelligent. He's not a scientist or an engineer. He's a fucking monster. A vulture who said, I can profit off the government's brilliant ideas. And then when I get in power, I'll keep everything for myself and fire other working class people because Trump wants $1 trillion to give to me. He's not finding fraud and waste. He's firing people and then claiming that it was fraud and waste. I know these people. They're hardworking, good people, working class people. Monster. Elon Musk, you fucking monster. Elon Musk never worked a day in his life. I gotta listen to this ass clown say stupid shit like, I gotta work 12 hours a day. My father worked 12 hours a day for fucking 60 years or whatever, 50 years. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you know what my job was when I was 7? When my father would come home from work, he'd lay down moaning, and I would straighten his fingers because he was loading semi-trucks all day, the cans, in 150-degree weather because it's hot in there. And I would straighten his fingers as he'd cry out, that's hard work, you fucking clown. He didn't go into work and yell at geniuses that he hired. Profit next quarter. That's all he does. That's all Elon Musk does. And then these geniuses explain a little bit to him. And then people interview him and think he's like Tesla. He's not like fucking Tesla. He's a fucking con man. Fuck him. Fuck them all. All these monsters. I'm calling it like I see it. You can disagree with me if you want to hang on to your delusion, but you fucking deep down, you know I'm right. There's nothing I've said. You think it's fair to go bankrupt for getting cancer, even though you paid for insurance all your life? You think that's fair? Do you think that's a fucking healthcare system? Honestly, you could get cancer through no fault of your own. Maybe you could blame diet, but who's poisoning you? The corporations. Eggs have gone up, they skyrocketed. Is the farmer making any more money? No, the middleman is. The middleman pockets it all and fucks the fucking worker. Farmers feed the whole goddamn world. You think they could have a little slice of the pie? They don't have lobbyists, an army of lobbyists writing the laws for them. They're fucked, like all working class people. And if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. You're unaware of what's going on. It's time to be angry. They're locking up U.S. citizens without fucking due process and deporting them to countries with their pregnant wife back in America because they said genocide's wrong. This is a genocide. Everybody knows that. Anybody paying attention knows Israel lost their fucking minds and destroyed all of Palestine and killed all the people in it, all the civilians. And they're taking everything from the civilians. And then they're going to deport them all and then make it a fucking resort, America is. Because he's in bed with, because he's doing their bidding, Trump. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassingly obvious. Please, just, I know I'm angry and it's coming across all wrong probably, but I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at the moderates who voted for him and helped him get across the finish line. I'm mad at the people that hoodwinked you into thinking you know what's going on. And all the people that are waking up, I get it. You're not going to vote for him again, but it doesn't matter. He's going to pretend you did and steal the fucking election. You know what he learned? You know what happens after failed coups? Successful coups. Because they learn all the levers of power that were in the way, and he's removed those levers of power that are in the way, hasn't he? I wonder why he did that. I wonder why he appointed all yes men who have no experience at all and who are election deniers to head the FBI. You have no evidence. You have all the power of all the intelligence agencies, but you can't prove that Justin John Scheck voted twice. You can't prove that that happened. That's embarrassingly obvious. You know how easy it is to prove that Justin John Scheck voted twice? That's called voter fraud. He claimed that millions of illegal immigrants voted. They're not on the list.